Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Liz. And welcome back to the VLOGMAS Cold Case Files. Today, we're going to be talking about the Dayton Christmas killings. Now, during the holidays in Dayton, Ohio in 1992, this massacre in particular would become known as the Christmas killings. Now, the killers in this massacre would be identified as Laura Taylor, DeMarcus Smith, Heather Matthews, and Marvelous Keene. Now, these four in particular called themselves the Downtown Posse. I don't know why they felt that that would be a good name for them, but I mean, whatever. Now, initially into the investigation, police did determine that these four were just trying to rob people, but these attacks escalated. And by I mean escalated, like forcing their way inside of their house and murdering them for things that they have and murdering them because they want to party and all this jazz, all this BS that, you know, you're young, you want to do blah, blah, blah. So they also decided to kill these people because they felt that snitches should die. Oh, to be young, man. Oh, to be young. Anywho, so on Christmas Eve of 1992, this is when they would kill their first victim. 74-year-old Joseph Wilkerson is their first victim. Now, Laura and Heather convinced this man that they would have sex with him in his house if they just let them in. Clearly, that's not the case because they did not have sex with this man. But really what they did was they killed him in his room, and then they literally hung out there 4 days on end, ate his food, drove his car, and this was over the course of 3 days. And his corpse would be in his bed. So like they literally hung out in his house, used his car, ate his food while his corpse was decomposing. So the same night, so on Christmas Eve, they also shot Danita Gillett, who was 18 years old at the time. Now, Danita was just trying to use a payphone outside of the neighborhood market. And unfortunately for Danita, she would be announced dead at the hospital after the cops were called. Now, it's said that her backpack, her jacket, and her gym shoes were all stolen from her after she was shot. On Christmas Day, 19-year-old Richard Maddox was discovered shot in the head, and his body was still in his car. Now, when police looked into Richard Maddox's background, they discovered that Richard was actually the ex-boyfriend of Laura Taylor, a part of the Downtown Posse. That same day, Jeffrey Wright would be shot at as well outside of his house on Yuma Place. He was shot 4 times, but he did survive. So that's good for him. Now, at first glance, the Dayton police didn't think that any of these crimes were connected to each other, until they checked the ammo from each crime scene. Now, when they checked the ammo, they figured out it was all related. But even with this common denominator, they were just like, who would do this? But that's not all. What the hell type of a motive is behind this, if there was one at all? Now, on December 26th, the former police sergeant, John Huber, saw a stolen car on Cumler Street. Now, when he saw this car, he had no idea that at this time he would be, who he would be stopping. Little did he know he would be stopping the people that had been committing all these crimes. Apparently, when they were stopped, all of them cooperated. They put their hands up and they surrendered. During Miss Laura Taylor's interrogation, after all 4 of them were caught in this car, she told the police that were interrogating her that she told Marvelous to kill the cop, but he refused to do so. So apparently she was pissed off at Marvelous, which it stinks for him. I'll kind of get into what happened to him. But she also went on to inform them that there was 2 other people that they killed. Wendy Cottrell, who was 16, and Marvin Washington, who was 19. And they were both found in a gravel pit on Richley Ave. Now, apparently, they were shot because Laura thought they were going to snitch on them to the police, so that's why they killed them. Marvelous Keene confessed to his crimes, and he was sentenced to death, unfortunately. And even after he exhausted 17 appeals, he was executed in 2009. Now, Laura Taylor, DeMarcus Smith, and Heather Matthews all received life sentences and are still in prison to this day, obviously. To this day as well, the sheer thought of the Christmas killings haunts Dayton, Ohio.